Okay, today on Dave's Cooking Show, we're going to have Angela Lansbury's roast chicken. I got the idea for this while I was watching Murder, She Wrote. I don't know why the image of roasted chicken kept popping into my head, but there you go. So take one whole bird. Inside the bird, have about a half a lemon and about a half to a quarter of an onion, depending on the size of the onion. Put some butter in the bottom of your baking dish. Salt and pepper at the top of the bird. And you're going to want to preheat the oven to 300 degrees. Remember, chicken, low and slow. And then place some bacon atop the bird. This will help keep everything nice and moist while you're roasting it. And make sure you save this bacon. So pop this bird into the oven and keep it in there till it's 165. All right. And then for another dish we're going to make for it, you want to take some bacon and fry it up in a pan. Really, it's just that simple because the more bacon, the better. And you want to take, I don't know, about 2 pounds worth or 3 pounds worth, however many potatoes you want, of red-skinned russet potatoes and get them in a pot of boiling water. Okay, and after the potatoes have cooked, you want to put them back in the pot. The reason I like using red-skinned russet potatoes is you don't actually have to peel them. Obviously, the regular russets will work just fine, but for God's sakes, peel them before you use them. And then you just want to add some chives. I don't really know how much I added, at least a couple tablespoons. And then about a quarter cup or so of sour cream. Maybe a little closer to a third of a cup. And then you want about a cup of heavy cream. Remember, this is just roughly guesstimating because you can always add more. And it's a good idea to go a little slower because, you can always add more, but once it's in there, you ain't getting it out. Then you just kind of want to roughly crush this up with your hand mixer thing. Okay, and after you've kind of given them a rough whip, you want to add basically a stick of butter. What? It's mashed potatoes. It's not supposed to be healthy. And then you want to give these a good whip around again, allowing the butter to melt and all that fun fucking shit. Don't worry, these will get a lot creamier soon. Okay, now I do apologize for the shittiness of this shot, but I was more concentrated on what I was doing. Basically, you want to, after you've gotten your mashed potatoes to the consistency you like, add the bacon that we fried up earlier and stir that in. All right, as you can see, our chicken is done, but don't discard the bacon. We're going to be taking the bacon off. Do not discard it. We're going to need it for the gravy. What, do you think I'd let good bacon go to waste? That's just, I don't know, blasphemy on some level. And time to give the chicken a good old butter basting. Get it out of this pan and then let it rest. Remember, it's kind of an important thing to let it rest, because if you cut it out now, the chicken's going to be fucking drier than the goddamn Sahara. So, give it a good coating of butter and let it rest. All right, let's make the gravy. Okay, and as you can see here in the pan, I've got all the chicken droppings. And we're going to be adding a couple of tablespoons of flour to this, along with a good amount of freshly ground black pepper and some salt. I would watch it on the salt, because remember, we are going to be adding bacon back into it. And as we all know, bacon's, salty as hell. Then you want to give this a whisk around and kind of bring it up to the boil, or at least a rapid simmer. And then you want to add some chicken stock or chicken broth, whichever you prefer. At least 2 cups, but more or less up to you. Give this another stir around and let it simmer till it reaches your desired consistency. If it is still too thin, you can add, God, what was it? Like a half a tablespoon of cornstarch to this, and it'll thicken right up. I just kind of let it simmer down while the chicken was resting. And remember, don't worry about the chicken going cold. Again, you're going to pour this piping hot bacon gravy on there. And there's the bacon. You want to add, I think I added almost that entire standard box of stock. And then you just want to cook this down. And that's pretty much it. All right, let's move on to assembly. And as you can see here, the chicken is nice and rested. That butter is giving it a nice golden hue. All right, let's serve this son of a bitch up. All right, as you can see here, got a couple of nice pieces of chicken meat, little side of our mashed potatoes. And again, don't worry if they maybe cooled off just a bit, because we're going to drown the entire plate in gravy. Piping hot gravy. So, that's Angela Lansbury's roast chicken. I got the idea for it while watching Murder, She Wrote, but in either case, it's done. Like, seriously, I don't know. I just had the idea of J.B. Fletcher actually serving this to the other characters in the show. I need to watch less TV.